Welcome to the agenda with me, Lasha in Douala, Cameroon. Tonight we talk politics, and we are receiving a young Cameroonian who has been a former member of the PC or the MRC political party of Professor Maurice Kamto. He is very young and has embraced politics. He thinks that the youth needs to do something in Cameroon to change the political narrative. We shall be hearing from him shortly after this jingle break. Ifubeh, Andreas, Tangang, thank you so much for joining me tonight on this edition of the agenda. You are the Secretary General of the National Triangle Political Party. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Lasha. The pleasure is all mine.
This is the first time we are receiving you, and it's of course always our tradition for our guests to tell the viewers more about themselves before we dive into serious business.
Okay. Thank you again. Thank you once again, Mr. Lasha. My name is Ifubeh Andreas Tangang. I am, as you rightfully said, I am the Secretary General of the National Triangle Party, a former militant of the CRM political party, where I occupied a good number of positions, ranging from the Divisional Youth Press Secretary for Menua Division to a Deputy Secretary General, Deputy Subdivisional Secretary for Tuba Subdivision, where I hail from, passing through the advisory post at the Northwest Regional Bureau of the same party, to a congressist of the last Congress of the party before I resigned in 2021.
To become the new member or the
Secretary General
of the National Triangle Party.
Yeah, I must confess that I'm one of the founding fathers of this political party.
Okay, let's revisit your political trajectory. Just tell us what pushed you to resign from the MRC political party. And before then, you were telling me off the mic that you spent several months in detention. You were arrested during Professor Maurice Kamto's nationwide protest shortly after the presidential election. Tell us, what pushed you to resign from the MRC political party?
Like a sophist rightfully said, after you've given all what you think you could give to any society, any organization, anybody, the best thing to do is to quit. So, personally, I don't. It's a past that I don't regret. It's a good experience that I had working, especially with people like my landed colleague, my landed sister, Barrister Awasu Mispa, to whom I say a very big hello. People like Barrister Christophe Donvin, who is from the Bafutuba constituency, like I do. Actual Secretary General of the same party. Voilà. I had a very good time working with all these people, so I can never regret my passage with the CRM political party. But as I rightfully said, when you think that you've given enough of what you had to give...
You must have seen something in the MRC before you started, because you started your political career officially with the MRC political party. There is something that you wanted to add to the political narratives in the country, and you thought that MRC was the party that could give you that platform to excel.
Yeah, it is true. We go into politics for diverse reasons. Some go to politics to seek for authority. Some go to inspire change. Some go to change the country. We went into politics, or I went into politics, to be that push factor that will bring change to Cameroon. I played my partition.
Yes, but
I
the,
played
the,
my
the
partition.
MRSC is the party that stood for that. So what happened along the line that the party was no longer working in that direction of bringing change?
I would not like to overemphasize on the CRM political party because, as I rightfully said at the beginning, it's a party that has all the potentials to achieving its goals. But I, Ifubeh, thought I had put in my best in seeing that happen. And so it was time for me to invest
In another political party.
At this time,
yes,
something I will be at the forefront, not more at the back seat.
So let's now talk about your arrest and detention in various facilities. You were detained in Soa, at the gendarmerie in Soa, before being taken to Konding, a maximum security prison where you spent several months in detention. You were charged with terrorism and treason. All forms of charges were brought forth against you. Is your resignation linked to this arrest and detention?
Not actually. Not actually, because right back at the Konding maximum security prison, we had offers. I won't like to come back to that, but we had offers.
The Cameroonians need to know.
Yeah, Cameroonians need to know. But
because you are selling a different ideology. Your credibility counts. You need to tell Cameroonians.
We had offers,
yes,
to resign from the party and be freed. This is what some Cameroonians don't know. But we didn't do that, which means that our resignation has nothing to do with the Konding issue.
Yes.
To come back to your question, to your initial question, on the 26th of January, 2023, there was a nationwide protest called by the National Resistance Movement to protest against the electoral hold-up that was organized by the BR regime. We're equally called for the seizure of the mass killings in the Northwest and Southwest region. They equally called for an end the mass, I call the mass massacre, the massive massacre of public funds by some ministers and leaders and political leaders who are called upon to serve this nation. Actually, and normally, as a frontline leader of the party, because by then I was the divisional youth leader for the Menua division. Yes. In the CRM
the West
party.
region.
Yeah, no, division. Menua division is a division in the West region.
Yes.
There was no way I could stay out of this protest because my credibility counted on that too. So I had to be at the front of this organization. And those who were with me know the role I played as far as this protest was concerned. The protest was declared officially at the DO's office.
So were you guys given the authorization?
The authorization, we don't need authorizations.
For manifestation, but
we don't, Mr. Lasha, we are talking law here.
You don't need authorization.
Yeah, we just need to declare.
What do you do with public peace? If public peace is threatened, do you have the security? If government does not give you the security, do you have the security to be able to ensure that the people who are marching or who are protesting will be safe? You will not have vandals that will come in and destroy public property?
Mr. Lasha.
So you don't need any authorization. Anybody can just get up and,
Yes, but because we are operating under a law signed in 1990, sorry. This law states that public meetings and public manifestations are declared.
But somebody has to approve of it.
No.
Who give you the charge to tell you that yes, this stuff has been received or
our own interpretation of the law sometimes bring us to wonder if our administrative authorities reason the way they're supposed to reason. Okay? The law states it clear that you declare a manifestation. You declare a manifestation. The competent authority acknowledges the declaration.
But if they refuse to acknowledge,
that is the point.
You go ahead.
That is the point. But then the same law,
the
same law asks them or gives them the right to judge. Okay, to see if there will be destruction of public property, and the law doesn't even ask them to reject or maybe to ban the manifestation. The law asks them to divert the venue if they find out that public peace will be threatened, or there may be some destruction of public properties, or maybe some disorder. They divert. Did they do that? The Minister of Territorial Administration, my able brother, my senior man from the Northwest region, Mr. Tangang, gave a nationwide ban, something I've never seen. A nationwide ban on all manifestations.
But you're also forgetting to know that he is the head of intelligence service of Cameroon.
No problem.
He's the chief spies, and so he has all the information.
He has all the information, but he's not the competent authority to do that.
He's a permanent secretary
Let
general
him
to
allow
Cameroon
the
national security.
He was simply supposed. He was simply supposed to allow the divisional office, the subdivisional officer, the DOs, do their work. Okay? For the case of Chang, for example, where I was, we didn't receive any letter from the divisional officer, because since the minister had signed his ministerial order, all the other DOs just stayed quiet. Some in Douala tried to issue out, but then we stood by the law. We stood by the law. The law does not ask them to accept or refuse. They are supposed to come and guide. They're supposed to guide us as we manifest.
And that's what I'm saying, that if intelligence information they gather shows that
at the end of the day,
there will be destruction.
Okay, I return the question to you. Was there any destruction of public property on that day?
No, we saw in other parts of the littoral region.
Instead, our compatriots here in Douala, Ndoki Michel and Celestin Germain, they received bullets here from military men.
We reported live from Lokoti, and there were issues with
Vola.
Lokoti where, without any publicity, a filling station almost had an issue. We're talking about Tradex, where stones were being thrown at police officers.
No, if stones are thrown at police officers in Douala, okay, you arrest those who throw stones in Douala. Because we are talking about decentralization in our state, okay? Which means that every administrative authority is territorially competent
to manage its
own affairs, its own area of command, okay? Our head of state says it every day, that we are striving towards complete decentralization. You will not take an issue that happened in Douala and you charge it on me. Oh, it's in Chang. It doesn't happen that way. Okay, after this, after the ban issued by the Minister of Territorial Administration, which I personally did not respect, because it was illegal for him to do so, to have done so, we went out and protested.
You were arrested in Chang. How did you find yourself at the gendarmerie in Swa, and later on at a maximum security prison?
The whole process was like an illegal procedure, because the law of this country states that if you have to arrest somebody for manifesting, it should be at the point where he manifested. My personal case, I was arrested. The protest took place around Rond-Point in Chang, what they call Rondo in Chang. But I was arrested at the grandstand.
Were you not manifesting at the level of the grandstand?
No, we had finished. Because listen, it is a very serious issue you're talking about here. The DO, divisional officer for Chang, arrives the protest scene. He summons all protesters to disperse the area. As per the law, Because the law states that he has to summon us 3 times to leave the area before any arrest is being done. He did so once. People began dispersing. I too dispersed after they had arrested Professor Christian Vola and the others and taken to the gendarmerie. I now was going up to the gendarmerie to see what is happening there.
And you were picked up.
And I was picked up, molested like one street criminal. I was thoroughly beaten up. Taken to the Commissariat Central in Chang on a Saturday evening. Sunday, on Saturday around 8 p.m., they called me and told me they wanted to take my statement. I told them I must have access to my lawyer as per the legal demand of the
new criminal procedure
yes.
code.
They told me my lawyer is in detention. Because they asked me who was my lawyer, I gave them the name without any form of publicity. Barrister Emmanuel Sim, to whom I say a very big hello. They told me he's under detention at the gendarmerie. I told them fine. And then he sent me back to my cell. When you release my lawyer, you can take my statement. They came back at around midnight, called me, told me they want to take my statement, that the pressure is coming there from where I don't know from where the pressure was coming from, that they must have my statement and let me go. I told them we were taken in here, 17 of us. They added some around 8 to 9 passerbys to the team. We were above 26, 27, if I'm not mistaken.
So how did you find yourself in Yaoundé to cut the
I'm coming there.
long?
I'm coming there. So they told me, I told them, if they must take my statement to free me, first, my lawyer must be present. Secondly, all those people inside there must be free. If not, I have no problem being inside there. That's how I remained inside there. The next day, they took me down to Chang, principal prison on Sunday, which is another violation of the law, because you cannot take somebody to prison on a Sunday.
A non-working day.
A non-working day. The State Council must approve of it, or what they call it, Commissaire du Gouvernement. The Attorney General must approve of it. There was none of those people had approved of it. We were taken down to the prison on a Sunday. The same Sunday, we received information that they had ordered us to be freed. We waited, Sunday passed, Monday passed. We spent our first day in prison. Around 5 p.m., when the bells went for the detainees to be counted, we went into our various cells in the prison, we were counted, and then they called us. All those Kamto people, come out, come out. We came out. My landed partisans began saying, thank God we are free, we are going back to the house. I told them no. I know this country more than some of you. To have protested in 2008 and seen what happened in this country, I know this country more than some of you. We are going down to Yaoundé. You know, inside there you have no information.
About anything that is happening?
Nothing. It's just an instinct that came to me. I told them, at this point, I perceive us going down to Yaoundé. They said, no. The minister cannot be that mad. The country is a law, it's a state of law. I told them there's no law in this country. We are going down to Yaoundé. We went out, they would sign the formalities to leave the prison. They gave us our luggages. The next statement, somebody said, colonne par un. It's a very recurrent statement that they use in prisons and detention centers. When they say colonne par un, it means you stand, you are looking behind your neighbor's head. I told them, have you seen what I was telling you? They said, no, we'll just go out. They take us back to our various houses. I said, no, you must be joking. You don't know this country. So that's how we left from Chang to Bafoussam.
From Bafoussam to Soa.
They kept us in this Commissariat Central numero 1 in Bafoussam. We kept there for some hours, around 11, 12 in the night. A military bungalow came parked outside. They told us to come one after the other. We came, they took our names, took all our belongings. In Bafoussam, we had our ID cards with us. They gave us our ID cards at the prison in Chang. We had them on us. They collected back everything. They headed for Yaoundé. That is where the mystery
started.
Because there it was a very long journey with so much troubles. The guys were running like they were going to go and kill us. And then reaching the Sanaga bridge, something happened. Because many people here who went to prison, they don't know that the main prison we had, the main detention we had, was the psychological part of the whole story. Arriving the Sanaga bridge, they stopped the vehicle. You know, for people who have never been to cell, someone like me, I've never been to any cell before. My very first time. We were there, and somebody declared and shouted in French, "Le boss a dit qu'on tue combien ici?" The boss asked us to kill how many here, and the colleague replied, "The boss said we should kill 9." You can just imagine the trauma, the psychological trauma that instills in you. People began crying. Some people weed on their bodies. But we sat. Finally, after a certain number of check-ins, the vehicle took off again. We arrived Yaoundé around 4 o'clock. You leave Bafoussam at around midnight. You arrive Yaoundé at 4 o'clock. You must have traveled like a beast on the way. Arriving Yaoundé, after some phone calls were made, I don't know wherever they were calling from, they took us to Soa after passing through Commissariat Central, going to Gers, so everywhere was full with detainees of the CRM. They took us to Soa. That is where we learned that Professor Kamto had been taken, I think was in Gers or something like that, either said or Gers. So from there we spent 19 days. After the hunger strike we embarked on for some days with no food, because we said to ourselves, we cannot be kept here, no information, nothing. We can't even read newspapers. We are treated like highway robbers. Some are calling us terrorists. A sub-lieutenant even called me an Ambazonian.
All these experiences you had in prison, is that what gave you the courage to come out again and continue with what you had embarked on by joining this new political party?
At a certain point, I felt like giving up. Yes, I felt like giving up because the torture became too much for me to bear. I said to myself that I am still very young. Why don't I put on the veil, the CPDM uniform, and then also clap my hands like some of my fellow youths and get my own appointment or maybe my own position and go and sit and keep quiet? But this idea of change keeps coming to my mind. Why can people not stand up and tell our leaders? No.
But this change you are talking about must be done, first of all, at the institutional level. Were you disappointed in your leader, Professor Maurice Kamto, who boycotted the parliamentary elections? He dashed the dream, your dream?
Yes, Mr. Lasha, I will tell you.
Because you have to start from
I have a mixed feeling. I had a mixed feeling.
Yes.
I had a mixed feeling as far as this boycott was concerned. Firstly, it did not affect me that much because at the start, I had no plans to run for any elections. I will tell you, Professor Kamto himself recommended me for the elections. This is something many people don't know. Because I don't know what he saw in me, maybe my way of doing things, maybe my dynamism, I don't know. He recommended me, he asked my leader, who was Professor Christian Folefak, who was here some weeks back. He asked him to make sure that I run. So I was going in for councillorship at the Chang municipality. The second feeling I had was that of disappointment, was the level of engagement of the youth in this party.
Who was so thirsty for change?
No, thirsty for change, but their level of involvement, as far as these elections were concerned, is what hurt me the most about this boycott. I saw youths who sell just slippers in the market ordinary slippers, these 2-rope slippers that we use in bathing. Gather money, I don't know from where, to constitute their files for the elections. After having invested enough in the implantation of the party, I saw their dreams being shattered. That is where my own problem came from. Personally, no, I was like 37 degrees. Okay. No stress.
Okay. You're now with a new political party, the National Triangle Party of Professor Folefak is the national president, and you happen to be the Secretary General. What is your social contract with the youth? What do you have for the youth now? After this disappointment from Professor Maurice Kamto boycotting elections and the zeal, what you are talking about investments of youths when it comes to implanting that political party and what they wanted to bring as change in this country.
What I will want to rectify is that I am not an ex-frustrated militant of the CRM political party. If you read my resignation letter addressed to Barrister Wasu Mispa, who was my regional secretary, that is the regional president as they call in other parties, I stated clearly I am going for personal reasons. I was never frustrated because even after the boycott, I implanted the party in the suburbs of the West region, in the nooks and crannies of the Northwest region. I can tell you, Ifubeh sitting here, can tell you where you will find the CRM unit, in which village of the Nonga Mantung, in which quarter of Bafut, in which quarter of Wum, in which quarter of Misaje, because I traveled to all places, and that was after 2020.
Even with the crisis?
Yes. Yes. Barrister Wasu Mispa will testify to you what we did in Misaje 2018. 2019.
So how do you, what are you going to do now with this unit?
Okay, now.
With a change of political party, you still have your ambition, you still have your dream.
Yes,
for Cameroon.
Because our dream, or maybe say my dream, is to see this country become prosperous. You see, many people like shooting stones, throwing stones at the CPDM political party. I don't share that view. Unfortunately, I don't share that view. Because
the problem is us, Cameroonians.
The problem is the people at the head of these political parties. If you read this book written by head of state, Mr. Paul Biya, Communal Liberalism, you will find the social contract of this political party is a very rich one. But those who are put in front to implement this project are those failing. So the party itself is not bad, but the people leading the party are those who are bad. I end there. I come back to the NTP political party. We intend to transform the mentalities of Cameroonians through very minor things, very minor. For example, I am an associative leader. I lead associations. I should know at the level of my associations that if I am called upon to manage the funds of my association, I should not distort them.
Touch any franc that
I should not distort. I should not distortion of funds. Even justifying. It's because some people say, no, take the money, if you justify, it will go. No. Be very careful.
So first of all, start from the conscientization.
Yes. The conscientization of the masses is a first aspect of our social contract. If we don't tell them how to do these things, they will not do it rightly. If you just tell them that don't touch money, without telling them
how do you achieve this in a very polluted environment?
It's possible.
People are living in a polluted environment. You preach morals. They're going to listen to you. Because the moment you leave,
it's possible.
They are corrupted by the people around them. How is it possible for you to achieve
that? They say little drops of water make an ocean. You go gradually to achieve what you want. These people you're talking about, were they born with these mentalities? No.
They will tell you, me alone, what can I change? What can
Unfortunately, they can change so many things.
These people have been doing this for many years.
It starts with you.
They will tell you that I'm not the Jesus, so I
cannot
change anything.
For example, if you already know, Mr. Lasha, that seated here, If you use maybe a tissue paper to clean your face, you should hold it in your hand or put it in your pocket till you find the next dustbin. You drop it there. And you tell people to do so. And you start by doing so that they see. Mind you, at least one person will copy from you. That one person is not small.
Okay.
2 people, you will go to 3, to 5. You change the mindset of people. I'll take you an example. When I joined the CRM political party in 2014, people told us we have a mass influx of political parties across the nation. There's nothing you will bring into the scene that will be new. But we told them, gradually, but surely, we will get there. This is the same thing we are going to practice with the NTP. People are telling us, no, we cannot reach there. No.
How will you survive?
How will you survive?
Multitude
of political parties.
Political parties.
No. But I tell them, I prove them wrong.
But there's some people have said there is no opposition in the country. The
That
political parties are just there to accompany the ruling CPDM party and prove the last senatorial election. We've seen what happened.
Hello,
sweeping,
Mr. Lasha.
Sweeping all the 70
I love
seats.
when we are serious.
Yes.
I love when we are being serious. Okay? You have a system which has been oiled for almost 40 years.
So how do you break into that system? It's a question the Cameroonians
It
are
is
asking.
a difficult task, but it is not impossible. Okay? First of all, you get Cameroonians to register on the electoral registers. That is the very first thing to do.
And after that, what do they do?
Secondly, when you register, you have to vote. You go out massively and vote. If you look at elections from 1992 in Cameroon, the turnouts have always been extremely low. Extremely low.
Because people might have lost hope.
Because people are not doing their work. Politicians don't play their roles. Am I the one to come and tell you to go and tell your militants to go and vote? No. We tell them to go and vote. Let them go out massively and vote. And tell them who they have to vote for. Convince them to vote for the right persons. After voting, you have the obligation to assist in the supervision of your votes. It is not me that will go and
How many political parties will have that
is what I'm talking about.
Resources
that is what I'm talking about. Because
to be able to move.
Your initial question was that, your initial worry was that there were so many political parties in the country. That was the initial worry.
With some accompanying the ruling CPD, not opposing the
political
CPD.
parties are political parties, be them of the opposition of the ruling party, or of the ruling majority. Okay. Now, they are classified into 2. You have the ruling party and its acolytes, and you have the opposition. It depends now on where you identify yourself. You can identify yourself as a member of the opposition, or as a presidential majority. Okay. Now, if, for example, you would not expect a man of without any publicity of the UNDP to go out and tell his militants to vote for the NTP. Not possible, except we are in the coalition. But we all know that these people are of the CPDM. Now, it is for us who claim to be of the opposition. Okay? People like the PCRN, the SDF, even though there's a small misconception about the SDF, I would not like to elaborate more on. There is the MRC, the CRM. If we decide to work together, as we have started doing, we come up with something solid, we propose to Cameroonians. If we can permit us to win, thank God.
So what are your short and long-term projects? Before we end, we have basically 2 minutes to end the program. Your short and long-term projects of the
Personally?
party. No, the short and long-term projects of your political party. You are the Secretary General,
yes.
And that post is a very important post in the political party.
Our projects for the party, or in the party.
Let's begin with the short-term projects. Yes.
The short term, we have to implant our party across the national triangle.
Changing mentalities.
Changing mentalities, doing politics differently. That is our slogan. Doing politics differently. Because we believe that if you bring in different approach in politics, many things will change. But if you continue doing politics the way things are being done today, nothing will change. Cameroonians have to be taught that change cannot only come from the head, it can equally come from the base. And from the base, they say charity begins at home. You have to know that you should be the change that you want in your country. Nobody will come and change this country for you and I. You and I are supposed to start the change from where we are. And it starts from the mental. Now, on the long run, like any other political party, we intend to participate in every election that comes
provided
up,
you meet the criteria.
Provided we meet the criteria. Be it presidential, legislative, municipal, senatorial, whatever. I will come up next time. As long as we meet the criteria, we will contest. At the same time, we will continue striving for the modification of the electoral system of our country so that we have more viable elections with little or no fraud, because that is what kills our electoral system, electoral fraud.
Ifubeh, Andreas, Tangang, thank you so much for joining me tonight on this edition of The Agenda. I'm glad you honored my invitation. You're coming all the way from Yaoundé. We're glad you made it to the program.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Lasha. I am so much delighted to have been part of this program. I hope that we'll meet again some other time to discuss pertinent issues concerning our country. It's always a pleasure for us to talk to Cameroonians. And I would like to use this medium to say a very big hello to my brothers and sisters of the Northwest and Southwest, especially those of the Northwest and my locality, Bambui, where they are preparing for the upcoming AGM, which holds on the 8th of April 2023. I equally want to plead with the powers that be of this country to find a way to end the Anglophone crisis. It has wrecked so many homes, it has broken down so many projects. So many youths are out there lamenting over projects which have failed due to the crisis. I equally wish that the powers that be find a way to accompany the youths who are fleeing these areas due to the constant harassments from, be it the military men who are ensuring the security of the territorial integrity up there, or the armed civilians who are protesting for what I can't really tell.
Okay, thank you for coming.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Lasha.
The pleasure is shared.
Thank you.